NCAA Hall of Famer herself. So we are just about ready to go in Blacksburg, Virginia Tech, in those pinstripe whites, and Pittsburgh, of course, in the visiting Navy. Here's the starting lineup on that card today for Jenny Allard. Kat Rodriguez fouled that first pitch away from Emma Lemley. Rodriguez and Hamilton, the two prolific bats in the order, both hitting above 320. And they have been two of the more consistent performers this season. For a Pittsburgh team that's certainly trying to climb its way back into the top half of the ACC. Meanwhile, Emma Lemley, the junior from Forest, Virginia. She's the veteran in that circle, Aaron. 85th career appearance in the circle and her 64th start today. So Lemley's got a 1-2 coming to Rodriguez, the second baseman. And here it is. Rodriguez fouls it away.
You're already starting to see the speed play a role. She can hum it up to 70 miles an hour, high in the eyes. This is an arm that had just an unbelievable freshman campaign. No one knew what she was going to bring to the circle, and since then, she's had to really fine-tune her stuff.
Trying to retire the leadoff hitter for Pitt, and Rodriguez bounces that one through the right side for a leadoff single.
If you're going to collect a base knock against this arm, this is likely where it's going to be. Late on high heat, up in the zone, goes opposite field as Rodriguez, and there's a reason that she was highlighted in this lineup. It's because that is the type of consistency she has at the top of the order.
Yeah, she was terrific last weekend in Fort Myers, went 8 for 13 in their 4 games. And so she remains hot at the plate, as does Macy Hamilton. The sophomore from Mansfield, Texas, also performed well. And she's trying to move the runner over, and both attempts fouled away.
You're going to see this pitching staff hammer the zone. Between all of their arms, as a complete staff, they only have 16 walks. It's an unbelievable number. They're fearless in the strike zone. They attack early. There you see it right there.
Fastball clips the outside edge for a called third strike.
I mean, 16 walks as a staff. That's as many as single arms have across the United States. Unbelievable teamwork by this staff, by this battery.
And it's a big reason why they've gotten off to the 18-4-1 start.
Coach Josh Johnson, the assistant coach here, pitching coach, really values velocity. Has a very individualized approach with each one of these pitchers.
And mid-60s heat rises a little high. And it has been a very consistent rotation featuring Lemley, Grine, a couple of the familiar faces, plus the freshman Emma Mazzarone, and then the Louisville transfer Cassie Grizzer. Now 2 strikes on Cammie Compson, Pittsburgh's big slugger in the order. So Lemley looking for back-to-back punch-outs. This time Compson lays off.
I mean, 3 batters faced. She's thrown 3 first pitch strikes. She's aggressive early. This is a team that's not going to be able to just continue to take until they get a strike.
Swing and a miss. And down goes Compson.
Rise balls are already hard to hit, but when you're seeing one that's coming at 70 miles an hour, the reaction time, your ability to make a decision on holding back or pulling the trigger, I mean, it is a split second against an arm like Lemley.
Yeah, Lemley now with 62 strikeouts on the year. So one of the higher strikeout rates among that quartet of arms. And she really is the proven arm in this rotation, Aaron. The two-time all-conference tone setter, if you will. A couple years ago was the freshman of the year in the league. So has quite a bit of experience to lead the way for this staff. Comes in 0-1 to KK Esparza. That's the catcher in the cleanup slot. Waves and misses, strike two.
We haven't even seen the changeup yet. This is another tool that she's got in the toolbox, but she hasn't even needed to pull the string. The rise ball's done the work for her. Now 2 back-to-back strikeouts against Pitt.
Well, she's gotten ahead of all 4 hitters this inning. 0-2, runs away. Emily pitching to a sub-3 ERA this year. She's got 4 wins, that 1 loss, but the ERA 2.98 over 13 appearances. And that 1-2 is fouled away. So Esparza keeps the at-bat alive. Esparza has been a nice addition to this Pittsburgh roster. She's been behind the plate for much of the year, the former Ole Miss Rebel. 1-2. Off speed, got her looking. And so she is at the top of Pete D'Amour's lineup card and faces Kira Pittman in the circle today for the Panthers. 12th appearance of the year for Pittman, the junior from Cumberland, Maryland. This is her first year with the Panthers. She spent the last couple years at Maryland where she was lightly used, so has been the ace of this staff to start the year. Ritter swings, tags one deep to left, and we start this inning off with a solo blast. Ritter needed 2 pitches to go deep.
It's her 7th home run of the season. A .377 hitter coming into today. There's a reason why her name is being talked about. She's a stud. She's seeing the ball so well. She sees the ball deep, a leader on this team. Now the 47th long ball for the Hokies. Number 4 in the nation when it comes to home runs. Unbelievable.
So we took the drama immediately out of this one. When would we see the first home run of the night for Virginia Tech? Make it second pitch of the game. Again, 4th in the nation with those now 47 homers. Addie Green steps in next, one of a few lefties in the order for Virginia Tech. So Pittman, who's pitched to a 4.28 ERA this year, is going to have to be very careful against a dangerous Virginia Tech order. Good off speed that time to fool Green.
You know, we talk all the time about numbers, statistics, but I really enjoy getting to hear a head coach talk about work ethic. And Addie Green was one of those. Said she does every single thing that she's asked to do. When she's challenged, she steps up. She's not good by accident. It's because of the work and the nose to the grindstone mentality this kid has.
Gets the barrel of the bat on that one and plugs it into right field for a base hit.
This almost looks like an oopsie swing. She's way out in front of the stance, waves the barrel at this pitch. This is low and away. When you've got the lower body power, the flick of the wrist, you find a way to work your way on, and that's what a number 2 hole does.
Just the ultimate veteran. First pitch to Cameron Fagan misses away. Really all 3 of these Hokie batters you've seen to start the game. You got 3 seniors at the top of the order. Fagan hitting .324 this year. She's driven in 19. And there is definitely, when it comes to that work ethic, that there is a trickle-down effect. .2-0 is bounced towards the second baseman, Rodriguez. They get the lead runner, Green, at second. So 1 away. So Pittman today faces one of her toughest tests. There are the numbers this year. She's thrown 48 1/3 innings. That's most for any Panther pitcher.
Transfer from Maryland. Very stoic in the circle. Game on mentality. She's not highly reactive, just very calm. Sets the tone for the defense.
1-0 is crushed. That's off the bat of Bree Peck, but foul deep down the left field line.
Coach Allard actually really liked that mentality out of Pittman, the fact that she can be the calm water. She's, again, not reactive in the circle. When you're facing a team like this, you're going to get hit. So to just stay the course, to continue to go on, to do your job, a leadoff home run from Emma Ritter, and you really haven't seen her body language change in the circle.
(2-1). A Peck is lifted again down the line. That's foul. And again, a pitcher that was just looking for a bigger opportunity and to take on an increased role. She had only appeared in 17 games while at Maryland over the course of 2 years. That 2-2 is poked through the left side. That's a base hit for Peck. So that's the 3rd hit here for the Hokies in this opening inning.
You know, one thing Pete DeMoore said that this team does really well offensively is that they can hit pitchers' pitches. This one's right at the knee. She's got to go down and fish for this ball, front of the stance. This is a team, because of how well they swing the bat, they're not going to see a lot of strikes.
Yeah, they largely put the ball into play as a collective unit. Low strikeout rates. A matter of fact, some low walk rates as well, based on what you mentioned there.
As a team, they're almost even. 78 walks to only 79 strikeouts.
Yep.
It's because they swing, and when they swing, it goes.
It's a big reason why they've elevated now to number 12 in the nation. You just saw the head coach Jenny Allard out there to speak with Pittman, trying to sort some things out in this first inning. The 18-4-1, they've got a tie, by the way, from last month. 18-4-1 record, quite impressive. Wins against Auburn, a sweep last weekend against Louisville, a win against a solid Arizona team, and then they played Georgia in back-to-back games down in Athens. They split that little 2-game set. They beat them in the first game, lost the next day. This is the freshman Michelle Chatfield, who, speaking of power, has fit in quite nicely in this order. There's the 8 home runs. And what amounts to just her 24th game as a rookie.
.357 hitter with runners on.
She's got 2 on here. Pittman fires a 1-1. And that's clobbered again, foul down the line. So these Hokie hitters just a tad out in front on several pitches in the first inning.
Yeah, you're seeing the abundance of that pull side foul ball just way early on timing here.
So Pittman tried to take some off that pitch and find the outside edge. Count evens, 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, it's Jim Cooper behind the plate. Jacob St. John, the first base umpire. Sean Schumacher over at third. Count goes full. Payoff. That one's whipped foul again. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, their best win of the year came last weekend against Purdue when they were down at Fort Myers. Pittman misses inside, so now the bases are full, and the home first for the junior Corey McMillan. Well, there is the architect, if you will, of arguably the most successful era in program history. You mentioned it before, Aaron. DeMoore has guided this program to 4 straight NCAA tournaments, a couple of supers in that run as well. 2 years ago, won the Coach of the Year honor. McMillan launches this one. There it goes. Gone. It's a first inning grand slam. McMillan makes it 5-0.
Just smooth as butter. Doesn't get better than that.
Now it's Maya Luco's turn. The senior is the DP today. You know, so Virginia Tech, it started the day, we mentioned 4th in the nation in homers, but they were 2nd behind Georgia Tech when it comes to ACC numbers. They were 2 behind Tech, so they just tied them up in the first inning today. Now 1-1 misses upstairs, so now the count's 2-1 to Luco. She had a 3-hit day against Louisville over the weekend. So Pittman trying to find the zone in the first inning. That one is laced down the line, but yanked foul. So the count goes full on Luco. So Luco, the senior from Reston, Virginia, with a couple of starts in the last week. She is deep in the box there. Waits on the 3-2. And that one runs way inside. So that's the second walk taken by the Hokies here in the first inning. It continues this one, still just 1 gone. And certainly an arduous first inning for Pittman.
You start to just wonder
up next.
how much is left on the leash here for Pittman. You think about the other arms that are in the staff for Pitt. Romano is a very spinny pitcher, has a lot of up movement. Stefanoni is a transfer from Akron, lefty heat. She's mid-60s, but again, a different side of the body on release point. These are all very similar arms, though. This is something that Coach Allard is just having to work with, stepping into this program year 1 after being at Harvard for 30 seasons. Trying to settle in and just build this program her way.
Coach Allard, she calls herself a developmental coach. I mean, that is a big emphasis for the Hall of Famer. Cares about developing her players. It's 2-1 off the end of Aldridge's bat into shallow center, and there's Hernandez to make the catch. So 2 gone in the first. A loud first inning for the Hokies. which is something that we have seen quite a bit already. A couple of home runs. Emma Ritter took the second pitch and dropped it over the left field wall. And then Corey McMillan slugged a grand slam to dead center. This is Tegan Thrunk, who makes just her second start of the year. Thrunk, the sophomore, is 3 for 7 this year, so she's been opportunistic. And she's got some opportunities. 1 runs inside. Pittman is certainly used to facing teams of this caliber. Thrunk gets underneath that one, drills it, another, goodbye! Thrunk goes yard, a 3-home run first inning.
Well, it's been that 7, 8, 9 hole for the Hokies where you've seen the revolving door. Who's going to win the spot in this order? Thrunk gets the call in the 9 hole. That's her first home run of the season. Making a case for that starting position.
And she might have dented the bike out there beyond left field.
Jordan Dale.
And so she's coming in here to face Virginia Tech's leadoff hitter, who is up for a second time this inning. That's Emma Ritter. And she blasted just the second pitch that she saw over the left field wall.
It's like they're swapping out the one-way communication device there. That's the pitch calling watch that infield and pitchers wear. It's kind of a new technology we've seen implemented this year. Most of the teams that I've covered this year, Kevin, have gone to this device. A few different things, the action clock speeding up the pace of play here, and they're needing some quicker communication for pitch calling, and this is what they've implemented.
Yeah, coming straight from the dugout, if you will. Looked like there might have been an issue with just the strap, so they've got it ready to go here for Kendall Brown. Let's see what Ritter does. First time sizing up Brown. Lets that one go just like she did in the earlier in this inning, I should say. So it is now 49 home runs. A half hour ago, they trailed Georgia Tech by 2 homers. And they just overtook the Yellow Jackets with 3 homers in this opening inning. As we mentioned before, that mark top 5 in the nation. It was Ritter, McMillan, and Thrunk. All went deep this frame. And the count goes 3 balls, no strikes. To Ritter, very, very special player. Now on a 15-game on-base streak after the homer. And so she's on for the second time today. As we mentioned, Aaron, it's certainly a very difficult challenge today. Pitt has played teams like Ole Miss and Oklahoma State earlier this year. However, in their second ACC series, they are facing one of the league's best. And so this certainly represents their toughest challenge of the year thus far. Addie Green singled her last time up. That .463 average. Of course, top 10 of the league. She's got 11 doubles, which leads the conference. One of the many veterans at the top of the order for the Hokies. Brown trying to find the zone. And it's just off the outer edge.
Coming from the left side from Brown. So this is a shift, right? This is something different that the Hokies will have to adjust to.
Green light, there's a big swing and a rip out to right, and it's run down by Griggs. And so that does it here. Best in Ivy League program history, and then she finally, as she joked with us a couple days ago, said yes to her former teammate, that's Heather Lyke, now the current athletic director at Pittsburgh, finally took her up on the offer to work with her, and was hired this past offseason to take over a program that is trying to climb back into the top half of the league. They went to the NCAA tournament back in 2015. The last few years they've found themselves below 500. And Allard, of course, highly respected coach that took the new opportunity to leave a place she was very comfortable at Harvard and is now here at Pitt. Lemley in the circle, 1-1 to Kylie Griggs. Griggs socks this one out to right, and it hits halfway up the wall. Griggs turns, goes to second, slides in safe. It's a great way for Pitt to start the second frame after Virginia Tech scored 7 in the home first.
Back-to-back innings we've seen the leadoff on. If you swing early against Lemley, you're liable to barrel something up. This is a team that does not throw a lot outside of the strike zone. You can afford to be aggressive against this pitching staff. It falls in line with Coach Allard and her approach. You mentioned it, Kevin, a storied career so far, 28 seasons at Harvard. Was the longest tenured and winningest coach in the Ivy League. She's an icon within our sport. Even just the network, the fingerprints that she's had within the sport of softball. Sure. Carol Hutchins being one of those. She talked in length about playing for her.
And it looks like they're going to say Rachel First did offer at that one, so the count's 0-1. You know, in those 3 decades, several times winning the Ivy League. They went to the NCAA tournament 8 times, most recently last year. So she leaves on a high note. That one's right down the middle for strike 2.
Well, I think the word developmental coach, there's a couple different definitions, I believe, in her eye of what that means, in her style of coaching. Because that was the question we asked, is describe your approach. And she said, I'm committed to development. That was required of her at Harvard, not being able to really utilize the portal the way a lot of other coaches do because of the academic requirements, the rigorous part of the student athlete, the student portion of that equation. So she really had to develop and pour in and polish the athletes that were on her roster, and that is the reason that she had such an unbelievable career in the Ivy League.
Lemley about to fire a 2-2. First swings and misses. So she becomes the 4th strikeout victim. 1 away in the second.
That's the 4th K so far for Lemley. That's the 3rd on the rise ball. We've seen the changeup once. That got Esparza looking back in the first, so starting to sprinkle in some of the arsenal that she's got.
Getting close to 70 here in the first couple of innings. She starts Desiree Martinez off with a strike. You know, Martinez, one of the few transfers that Allard had to bring in. She spent the last couple of years at Bethune-Cookman, but just going back to your developmental point, there were, you know, many players that remain loyal to this program and Allard after she was hired. Certainly buying into that point about furthering their development. 0-2 is fouled into the mitt, strike 3. So Lemley has recorded 5 outs, all by the strikeout.
Yeah, this speed really is what makes her so dangerous. She can spot it, right? Pick a spot, throw a dart, but the speed is what makes her so hard to barrel up.
Amari Braden offers it that one. So going back to your prior point, that's now 30 pitches for Lemley. 23 strikes, 7 pitches out of the zone. As you said, she's going to attack it. That one nicks the outside edge, so the count's 0-2. Pitt on the wrong end of that 7-0 score in the early goings of this one. They've got Griggs at second base. Braden, the freshman, waves and misses, strike 3. And Fagan now, the number 3 hitter in the order, followed by Bree Peck, Michelle Chatfield. And these are their first hacks against Kendall Brown. That's the junior who came on in relief at the end of the first. So it's the lefty now in the circle for Pitt. Now Brown threw a couple of innings in their Sunday loss to Florida Gulf Coast. Fagan bounces that to Rodriguez, so 1 away. Only gave up a couple of hits, so Brown is trying to get some outs here in the early goings.
This is a team that's 6-0 so far in conference play. Only lost 4 games on the air, and we chatted with Coach DeMore about those losses. He was honest about them. He said it happens. I feel good with where we are. The teams that we have taken a loss to are postseason caliber teams. A loss to Cal, lost to Grand Canyon, who was a dark horse just a few seasons ago. Same with Charlotte. That was a midweek loss for them, 8-4.
Peck rips that one into left. That's a base hit. So 1-out single for Bree Peck. Michelle Chatfield bats next.
This one ran off the end of the bat. Peck gets around the barrel. Enough to get it done. Back in mid-February, they dropped a game against number 3 Georgia. So these are some very talented teams. This is tough competition that this squad battled late in innings with.
Chatfield bounces that one over to third, and her counterpart Martinez retires her, so 2 gone.
I gotta tell you, Kevin, what I've seen just in the circle alone, I mean, the eye-popping numbers with offense, you're gonna see that. I feel like we have an offensive surge right now in our game. That pendulum tends to swing about every 5 years, yeah, but I think what makes this team really dangerous is the depth they have in the circle. You gotta have pitching to go deep. And Virginia Tech has it this year.
McMillan, by the way, went yard last time she was up. It was the grand slam in the first. She barreled this one up, struck it to deep center. And it disappeared into the evergreen tree beyond center field. One from Brown. That one's low in the zone. Well, and back to your point, Aaron. Lemley is the trusted ace that has been with this program for many years. You got a player like Grind back. But then DeMore added Cassie Grizzard out of the transfer portal from Louisville. So she and the freshman Emma Mazzarone have created, like you said, a quite well-rounded rotation right now.
velocity alone. 3 of their arms can hit 70 miles an hour. One of those coming from the left side.
McMillan draws the walk, so 2 on with 2 gone here in the second. Luco bats next. Yeah, so this is that quartet of arms.
Wow. Look at the
The ERAs are impressive, yep, as are the strikeout numbers.
Wow. As I mentioned, between these arms, only 16 walks as a staff in the year. Wow.
Luco takes a strike. Well, DeMoore says, you know, he's pretty vocal about it. We prioritize velo. We want pitchers to execute, of course, in the circle, but they place a premium on that velocity. Luco walked her last time up and then scored on Thrunk's home run. She sends that one foul, so has to protect with 2 strikes. So Brown, meanwhile, in just some limited early inning work, has done a solid job trying to quiet these bats. There's a base hit, though, for Luco into left. Hamilton's throw is cut off. And so Luco scores Peck, and it's 8-0.
Well, now you're officially in run rule territory. This is a drop ball. Has a little bit of an off speed. You can see the late break. It buckles at the knees, but with the barrel control of Luco, gets the job done. It's another RBI across the board.
That pitch gets away from Brown, and so Aldridge out in front. Brown replaced Kira Pittman, who was chased in that opening inning. Aldridge, by the way, gets the start behind the plate today. She and Zoe Yeager have handled the catching duties largely this year. Good off speed from Brown.
I think if that pitch can be thrown consistently from Brown, she'll see some success with that. One thing you've got to do against a big swinging team is mix speeds. You've got to be deceptive with timing. We haven't seen a lot of that so far through almost 2 innings.
That one runs outside, so the count's now 3 balls and a strike. Well, Brown appeared in 12 games her rookie season and 15 a year ago. And she misses outside. So the bases are loaded once again. Now for a second straight inning. And you got Tegan Thrunk, one of the home run hitters.
And a revolving door status down there. Players trying to lock in that role.
Now Thrunk is the sophomore from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. But you're right, there is, for much of this year, been a handful of freshmen, first-year players down at the bottom of the order for Pete DeMoore. But today he's given Thrunk a chance to start a game. Same with Aldridge and Luco as well. So now the count's 3 balls and no strikes to Thrunk. Luco drove in the lone run this frame. They are loaded. McMillan at third, Luco's at second, and Aldridge over at first. So Brown fires, and that misses upstairs, so that brings in a run. And it's now 9-0 with 2 gone in the second.
Tech, you cannot miss.
So let's see if Ferris can get out of this jam. Emma Ritter up for a third time, facing a third different pitcher, and she takes that for a strike on the inside edge. Ritter blasted her 7th homer of the year in the first and then walked later in that frame. Ferris coming home. Swing, that one's hard hit. That's through the left side, a base hit. 1 run comes home. Here comes Hamilton's throw, bounces towards third. It's a 2-run single for Emma Ritter.
They can do it with the long ball, and they can do it base to base. This is textbook softball, punching a hard ground ball through the 5-6 hole. We've already seen Emma Ritter go yard. She had a leadoff home run back in the first inning. This time shortens the swing against a new pitcher.
And it doesn't get any easier when you face the top half of this order. This is Addie Green now up for a third time. 1 for 2 today. That is just an astonishing batting average. .456. 1-0 is blasted out to center. Braden has it lined up, and the inning comes to a close. But impressive. Well, and there it is. These heat maps, by the way, they're terrific, courtesy of 643 Charts. So what that represents, that red area up and in, is where she records a lot of her strikeouts. So a lot of hitters, I should say, chasing that pitch up in the zone, up and into right-handers. It's been effective.
Well, let's put that in context, too. If you're seeing it in the right-handers batter's box, you're getting 70 miles an hour right under your hands. That's a scary place to be. A few of those you're probably just protecting for your life there, trying to wave to get out of the way.
This is the number 9 hitter, Anna Hernandez. Waits on the 1-1 and chops it foul straight down. You know, you've talked about this in the past as well. As a hitter, you know, that pitch elevating in the zone, very tempting as well for a hitter. Make it 7 strikeouts. Lemley begins the third with another punch out. Take a guess where.
Yeah, this is the first strikeout she's got of the first batter of an inning. The past 2 innings, Pittsburgh actually has worked themselves on. Up at the letters, gets the bite, and the lineup turns over back to Rodriguez. She had a single back in the first.
One of her better outings was last weekend against Louisville, for Lemley that is. She's got a win in each of the last 2 weekends against Louisville, against Notre Dame. She struck out 11 Cardinals 6 days ago in 4 2/3 innings, allowed just 1 hit.
You know, something I find interesting, I think, about this pitching staff actually isn't the pitchers. It's the assistant. It's their pitching coach, Josh Johnson, and what he's been able to do with this staff. Very detailed in scouting reports, an interesting approach and coaching style.
It's popped up and playable for Chatfield, 2 away.
He's getting his PhD currently in exercise science, so it shows up in the way that he coaches. I mean, he's had a few arms on this staff that have gained up to 8 miles an hour since the off-speed. One of those being Lindsey Grine. She was a 62-mile-an-hour arm, now humming it up to 70 miles an hour. They value velocity. You're going to see speed from these arms, and it's because of this coach, this genius right here.
Yeah, Johnson spent the last handful of years at Mississippi State. He and DeMoore, they go back many years. And it's just a great illustration of A home run higher could just go a long way, bring in the right coach to work with a team, to work with a rotation. Hamilton struck out back in the first. Johnson part of a retooled staff as well. That one's bounced over to the right side. Fagan backhands and then a quick throw to first for the league this year. Heck of a series in Tallahassee. So Ferris back in the circle for Pitt to start the third. 3, 4, and 5 due up. This is Cameron Fagan. A little bit of light rain starting to fall once again in Blacksburg. Count goes 2-0.
We saw it all morning.
For a portion, yeah, of the afternoon, Aaron.
Tarp was out earlier. Actually, when we got set up for the broadcast, the field looked wet, very wet.
Those dark skies, they had moved out for a little while. There's a slow roller over to first, and Compson makes that play. So Fagan is done. Bree Peck bats next. Starts to pick up just a bit. So Peck is 2 for 2. He's also scored 2 runs. And Aaron, you see that score obviously in the top left. It's a lopsided one. Virginia Tech with the 11-0 lead. They scored 7 in the first and then 4 in the prior frame. And for a team like Pittsburgh, and for a pitcher like Ferris, chance here just to compete and, a big opportunity to try to record some outs. Ferris came out of the bullpen with 2 out in the second. So this is her first full inning of work.
Looks like that was an illegal pitch that was just called.
Yeah, so the count now is a favorable one for Peck. 2-0, that one is ripped out to deep left center. Another gone. It's 12-0, and that's the 4th home run of the day for these Hokies. They continue to rake.
These home runs aren't up for debate. I mean, these are straight off the bat. You know exactly where it's going to go. These are huge. This one towering deepest part of the field. 220 dead center. See you later, Bree Peck.
Look out, parking lot. That one had its eyes on a couple of cars, and maybe this one from Chatfield. Did they do it again? Back to back. Chatfield. My goodness.
Whatever this team ate for breakfast this morning, they need to continue to eat it all season long. An extra spoonful of Wheaties or something. They are seeing it well. Solid cut. Very good contact, and it's all sides of the field. That's what's so impressive for this team. First of all, the spread of power. 1 through 9. We've seen the leadoff, the 9-hole, the 4, 5, and 6 all go yard.
5 different batters. And here's one of them who blasted a grand slam back in the first inning. That's Corey McMillan. And she sits on that one and busts it through the right side. That's a base hit for McMillan. And so the hits just keep on coming for the Hokies. That's 9 hits, plus a handful of walks as well. So Luco bats again with a runner at first. And maybe just the slippery wet conditions may be affecting that one. So 18 Hokie hitters have reached base safely. And you got Luco here back in the box. The average 545. Limited at bats, but still an impressive start to the year for the senior from Reston, Virginia. Yeah, collectively, this is just a relentless batting order. And that one's in the dirt, so ball 4. Now runners at first and second for Aldridge. And Aaron, we heard Pete DeMoore talk about it a couple of days ago. It is just a program that is built on hard work. They're punctual, they go to class, they get the job done, and they hit dingers.
You know, over the years, as I've gotten to know Coach DeMoore, since he started at Virginia Tech, I was actually around the same time I started calling games and covering softball. He's a consistent guy. He's face value. You get what you get with Pete. He is all work. He's got some humor in there. He's got some jokes. I've been able to crack him a few times, but he really is. This is how he approaches the team. You know, this is a job. You're here to get your degree, and you're here to work hard. You're here to win.
Yeah, it is a culture of winning for sure. So we've got a couple of positional changes. New right fielder for Pitt, that's Hannah Greer. And they've reached a pair of super regionals, the latest coming 2 years ago in 2022. You know, he was very vocal this offseason talking about how last year ended for this team. First pitch to Kylie Aldridge, bounces away. So if you told a head coach, hey, your program is going to be playing on a Sunday in a regional final in late May, there might be a lot of coaches or programs that say, hey, we'll take that and we'll see what we can do with it. That one is into left center and a base hit. Here comes the runner McMillan around third. She scores, and there's a run-scoring single for Kylie Aldridge.
It's a smooth swing on the outside corner. The fact that Aldridge doesn't overswing here. Sometimes you start to see that. When the home runs start flying, you want to join the home run party. You start taking uncharacteristic swings, but this team has really stayed the course. They've stayed buckled in within themselves.
Here's the 9-hitter Thrunk with still just the 1 out here in the third. Inside out swing, bounced over to Rodriguez, 2 gone. So we'll go back to the top of the order. Ritter due up next. But just to finish the story from a moment ago, might be a lot of coaches that say, hey, we're going to be playing in a regional final on a Sunday in May. That sounds like a pretty successful year. In a lot of ways, Virginia Tech, that's where Virginia Tech's season ended a year ago. And in a lot of ways, last year is categorized as a bit of a falling short of goals. All those home run numbers just really eye-popping. Ritter's got 2 in scoring position. 2-run single an inning ago and then homered in the first. And she slams that one foul. You've got Lane Stadium in the distance there. Meanwhile, next door, Virginia Tech with a 2-touchdown lead. 2 strikes, though, on Ritter. Ferris trying to put her away. Here it comes. Bounces it over to short. Hernandez. Yeah, she's safe. So Ritter knocks in a run. She beats out the throw. 15-0.
It's a 3-for-3 day for Emma Ritter. We've seen it on the long ball. We've seen it on the punch through the 5-6 hole, and now we see it on the speed. What can't she do?
Yeah, and she got there. So she beats out the slow roller, and this is Addie Green now. Popped up. This has got some carry out to left center. Hamilton's got it, and the inning is over. So Virginia Tech scores 4 more. What a doubleheader we got for you Wednesday on the ACC Network. You got that top 25 battle between South Carolina and Clemson. And then Duke and FSU to follow. Well, Clemson off to a shining start as well. You've got a handful of teams, of course, in the ACC in the top 25. Clemson finds itself ranked 14th. Right now, Valerie Cagle off to another just shining start to her season. The Clemson stud. Does it at the plate and in the circle. Meanwhile, in this circle, Emma Lemley, the 2-time all-conference selection, who's appearing in her 85th game now, the veteran and ace of this staff, has 7 strikeouts, and she's allowed just 2 hits. Cammie Compson fouls that one away, so it's 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Panthers in the 4th inning.
How about the pitch count? 46 pitches thrown.
Yeah.
So much efficiency. I've spoke ad nauseum about their aggressiveness in the strike zone. And that number really quantifies it.
Well, she was very efficient with her pitches in the win last weekend against Louisville. Only threw 65 to pick up her 4th win of the year. Compson lets that one go, so the count goes full. And that ERA back below 3. Of course, still early in the year, but she set a high bar winning ACC Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago. The ERA ballooned over 4 last season. And she is just been much steadier, according to Pete DeMoore this year. That's the first walk she's allowed today, by the way.
A rarity for her, for this staff. Only 17th free bag awarded all season long for Virginia Tech. You saw the jump and the home runs that were allowed last season for Lemley. I think that you see that a lot when you've got a freshman phenom that hits the circle for the first time. There's no scouting report on her. No one knows what they're going to face, really, right? But by that sophomore season, word's out. Cat's out of the bag. You got to find a way to come to the circle with something different. You see the drastic jump there in home runs. People started to barrel her up, the ERA higher. Now, granted, she had a lot more innings under the belt, a lot more win-losses between the two. But I think
good try that time by Chatfield.
starting this junior season, she looks like she's got her level-headedness back. I think that the confidence is coming back. She struggled with illegal pitches that sophomore year. So Coach Johnson working with an updated windup, trying just to clean up the motion in the circle.
Just another way to underscore the value of Johnson. Again, coming over from Mississippi State. Remember, you've got the world champion as well now on this staff in Humo Mata, first-year assistant. Won a men's fast pitch world championship with Argentina a few years ago. 0-2 to Esparza, bounces through the right side. So that's the third hit of the day for Pittsburgh. And the Panthers have the first 2 runners on here in the fourth.
Yeah, it's the first time that they've got 2 consecutive base runners. The third time, though, that they've gotten the leadoff on. If there was one smudge on the resume of Lemley this evening, it would be that. One, she doesn't walk, ever. Really, that's a rarity for her. But the second point is the fact that she's given up at leadoff 3 out of the 4 innings that she's thrown.
Kylie Griggs, by the way, did that 2 innings ago. She doubled to start the second. Checks the swing there. That's in for a strike. Well, now, after striking out 7 of the first 9 batters she faced, Pitt has put the ball into play. Second time through this order. Wave and a miss. Got her chasing that one in the dirt. Third year with the program for Griggs. Started her career at second, moved to the outfield last year. She's on a 5-game hit streak now. Oh, wave and a miss, strike 3. So Lemley picks up another strikeout. That's 8. 1 out in the fourth.
So much control. This one's a late break. It bites low in the zone, right at the knees.
Rachel first waves at that one and misses. Well, do you think Griggs going after that pitch in the dirt might have given her a little confidence to try to get her to chase again?
Yeah, it's all about the setup pitches. You see what they bite. You see what you're getting called, right? The strike zone. What can you get away with as a pitcher? Then you piece it together. Lemley's done a nice job.
Just about everything going Virginia Tech's way. A 15-0 lead in the series opener. Lemley misses upstairs, so the count's 3 balls, 1 strike to first. Count goes full. Ball 4, so the base is loaded. Well, a golden opportunity for Pittsburgh to get something positive here across the plate. This is Desiree Martinez. And the third baseman strikes that one foul. Martinez is the junior from Whittier, California. One of a couple of starters that Allard signed out of the transfer portal. It's at the knees for a called second strike. Let's see what Lemley has here with one gone. 0-2. And Martinez hits that one over to second. Fagan makes the grab. 2 away. So it's up to the freshman, the lone rookie in the starting lineup for Allard this year. That's Amari Braden. Or rather, we'll have a pinch hitter. And this is Amanda Ramirez, the junior from Miami. Steps in with the bases loaded.
Yeah, the change I've seen, I think, in Lemley this inning has been trying to throw just a bit hard. It looks like she's almost grunting through the release point, trying to overthrow her pitches instead of just letting the ball do the work. Snap and release. Just starting to labor a little bit. Back to that first walk of the inning. The rise ball had no late bite, just hard and out of the zone.
She's walked 2 in the inning. Ramirez with a favorable count. And she fouls that one back.
Emma, you got this, Emma. You got this.
She fires, and again, misses upstairs. This will be Lemley's 70th pitch of the evening. With the bases full and 2 gone, a 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
All right, Emma, you got this. You got this, Emma. One more, Emma. One more. You got this, Emma. You got this, Emma.
There she goes with the bases full. That's popped up. Foul ground, right side, and Chatfield makes the catch. So Pitt at the base have a gigantic lead. It's a 15-0 score right now. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Happy to have the head coach with us now. That's Pete DeMore. Coach, we would be bearing the lead if we didn't ask just about the offensive surge. I mean, what makes this lineup so dangerous? What do you see off the field?
Well, off the field, we have hard practices. You know, it's not just easy BP. And we challenge the kids all the time in practice, and it pays off. Seems to be paying off in games.
Coach, we've been bragging on Coach Johnson, and I think what he's really challenged for Lemley in the circle. We've seen the numbers from last season to this season. Describe the dynamic and how he's been a real threat in the addition of the staff.
Yeah, I think the one thing with Emma is her velocity's back to where it was 2 years ago. You know, and she's throwing 68, 69, as opposed to, you know, maybe 62, 63 last year. So just the change of velocity, she's spinning the ball better, locating better. So, yeah, the hard work in the bullpen's paying off for her, too.
Oh, she's got the 8 strikeouts today. Coach, we appreciate you doing this. Stay dry the rest of the evening.
We'll try. Thank you.
Yeah, great insight there from the 6th-year head coach. And Lemley, Aaron, able to work herself out of trouble in that 4th inning, left the bases, strand of the bases loaded, I should say. Heart of the order due up for Virginia Tech in the home 4th. Fagan, Peck, and Chatfield once again. So just about everybody has reached safely in the order today, except for Fagan. She's 0 for 3. Though she did reach on a fielder's choice, if you will, and scored a run. So every other Hokie has reached base safely. With that hard, live, difficult BP, it pays off. Big swing and a miss that time by Fagan. This is Danny Ferris as well back in the circle. Virginia Tech 2 weeks ago swept Notre Dame, outscored them 29-9. There's a blast. Fagan drives it deep to the wall. Goodbye. 6 home runs, 6 of them. This is a rampage by this Virginia Tech team. 6 home runs on the night.
The fact that this is 6 home runs with 6 different bats. Pete Demore spreading the power 1 through 9. This is one of the most dangerous offenses in the nation right now. We have been impressed with what they've brought to the plate. We've been impressed with what we've seen in the circle. Putting on a show so far through the ACC.
Yeah, it is incredible. Again, 46 home runs entering the game. So 6 more today. They've got 52. And that coming in 24 games. That's it. Bree Peck pops this one up. And first pitch falls into the seats. Yeah, Peck homered in the 3rd inning. So things started in the first as Ritter, McMillan, and Thrunk all went deep in the opening frame. Then Peck, who's at the plate here, and Chatfield, they went back-to-back in the 3rd. Fagan with the latest. Oh, there's a rip. It's drilled, but it's bending foul. Well, nearly a 2-homer day here for Peck.
Just early on this swing, barely misses the foul pole. Would have been the 7th home run of the evening.
Boy, that was very close. Peck hasn't been retired. She's 3 for 3. And that one's down in the dirt.
It's been pretty amazing to see what this team has done just since conference has started. 12 of their home runs coming into today. We're in ACC play. Slugging almost 600 as a team through conference so far.
Well, in 4 innings tonight, a 50% increase in the home run department. Peck bounces that one hard to Martinez, and a long throw across the diamond is there. So remember, tomorrow we've got another terrific ACC battle for you, this time on the baseball side of things. It's a top 20 clash between Wake Forest and Virginia in Charlottesville. That's at 4 Eastern tomorrow on the network, also streaming on the app. So pitch hitter here for Chatfield. So now it opens up the possibility of maybe another home run hitter entering the fray. This is the rookie Emily Leggett. She's gotten off to a really fine start in her freshman season. It's worth reminding one more time, Aaron, you've mentioned this previously. So The 8-run rule is obviously in effect. Virginia Tech leading by 8 or more, and all it has to do is get through 4.5 innings. So Pittsburgh up against it here with the top half of the 5th, of course, on deck. Leggett from Florida. And 5'10 lefty takes that one in there for a strike. So speaking of home runs, quite a first impression for Leggett, pardon me. She goes deep against a top 20 ranked Auburn team, just the second game of the season. Hacks that one foul.
Yeah, this is the hardest part, coming off the bench, the back cold. You get an opportunity, you're facing an arm that doesn't throw quite as hard as what you're used to all season long, and you've got to be on time. You've got to find a way. First pitch that she takes that's a strike is an off speed, and she pulls one way foul. This is the challenging part of getting a pinch hit opportunity.
Oh, that careened off the top of the helmet. So she takes her base. No one's skimming the helmet. Yeah, she just gave a encouraging word there to Jacob St. John, saying, I'm okay. Always a bit unnerving to see something like that, but she looks okay. A couple of thumbs up there from Jamie Bailey, the first base coach. A rainy Friday evening in Blacksburg. Oh, there's another one. Come on. Again? Count them all up. It's 7. 7 blasts for Virginia Tech. And this time it's McMillan, her second of the night.
This is just getting hard to believe at this point, what this team has done. You know, one thing that I think makes McMillan so deadly at the plate is the hand speed. You see how quickly she reacts, the fact that the lower body can turn to make room for the hands to whip through the zone. It was something Coach Pete DeMoore said about Corey McMillan, is she has the fastest velo, the fastest whip through the zone. The hands are wicked quick, and you can see how effective they are.
We're getting close to record-breaking territory here. So Maya Luco steps back in, and the senior bounces that one foul. One bounced through the left side, a base hit. So this one keeps going. And 18-0 Hokies lead. As the rain, seek cover. As the rain continues to fall here. But you don't want to miss a home run. So you can't leave the park. Umpires getting together here. You would think just to determine what Jenny Aller is going to do here with any substitutions.
Yeah, wondering if this is either a weather conversation, if this is a pitching change. Looks to be a conversation also with field crew. Rain is coming down, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a member of this Virginia Tech grounds crew looking at some weather and some radars. And so Jim Cooper now having a conversation with Pete Dirk here is going to turn to their freshman, Amari Braden, who's a position player. She plays center field for them, to try to get through this fourth inning. There's an inside-out swing and a base hit for Kylie Aldridge. So Luco, who was the runner who singled just before the rain delay, moves up base. And so punt coming for the Hokies. And now Tegan Thrunk is expected to hit next. But this has been a overwhelming performance, Aaron, for Virginia Tech at the series opener.
You know, it's the little things for me, too, that maybe get overlooked that's so impressive about this squad. You got a weather delay, right? You've got a brand new pitcher in the circle, and Kylie Aldridge walks into the box and hacks at the very first pitch that she sees. This team is ready to go. This is the work ethic that they've had all year long, all off season long. They never miss a moment.
And so they've gotten off to this 18-4 and start. In the rear view already, a sweep against a solid Louisville team last weekend. They beat Arizona State out of the Pac-12. They beat Auburn. Notched a 5-4 win against previously third-ranked Georgia. That was in Athens. That's cued over to second. Rodriguez flips it to the bag for the first out, or for one out, I should say. Luco moves to third, and Thrunk is over at first base after the fielder's choice. So 2 gone in this fourth inning. And let's remind you, this could very well be the last time Virginia Tech is at the plate. The run rule is in effect, so if a team leads by 8 or more after 4.5 innings, the game is over. Pinch hitter here for Emma Ritter, who had not been retired today. Ritter homered to start the game in the opening frame and finished 3 for 3. This is Lila Blackwell.
Here's your pitch, Lila. Here's your pitch.
Blackwell, the freshman from Franklin, Indiana. And run far and just had a runner at third base. There's a bouncer over to short, and that does it here in the fourth. So Virginia Tech 3 outs away from closing out this. McMillan with the latest blast. So McMillan is the lone Hokie to hit 2 out of the yard today. She drove in 6, and you just saw the mark. They're going to finish, assuming Pittsburgh goes down in order here in the top of the fifth. Finish 1 home run shy of tying the program record for home runs in a game. My goodness, it was just a relentless offensive attack today. And Molly Jacobson is in the circle trying to shut the door. She just retired Anna Hernandez. This is Kat Rodriguez, the leadoff hitter, takes a strike, counts 0-1. Remember, the run rule is in effect here. So if you're up by 8 or more after 4.5 innings and you're the home team, or 5 if you're the road team, the game is over. We will not play the full 7. Jacobson replaces Emma Lemley. Let's not forget about what Lemley did today. 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. She's obviously in position now for her 3rd straight win. Or 3rd straight, I'll put it this way, 3rd straight weekend with a win. She bested Notre Dame 2 weeks ago, beat Louisville last Saturday. And, of course, in position tonight in the opener.
71 pitches thrown for Lemley, 51 of those strikes.
Where was she most effective in your eyes, especially early in the game?
You know, the rise ball is doing rise ball things, as it always does, but we did see the changeup a few times. I was impressed by the curveball, the late break, the commitment to that pitch, the fact that she didn't overthrow it. She allowed it to move through the zone.
So Pittsburgh has a runner on here. Is live post-game after the second semifinal in D.C. Later today on the network, nice play by Jacobson. Off the circle there to make the play, and so Virginia Tech 1 out away from taking the first game in this series and improving to 19-4-1. By the way, Pittsburgh, the men's basketball team, with a 2-point lead over fourth-ranked North Carolina at half in the first of those two semis. Jacobson finds the corner against Ham. Over to second, Fagan on to first, and the game is over. So Virginia Tech with an 18-run
I'm about to drop some knowledge real quick. Talking about a profession that deserves more respect. Slick nurses on the front line, saving lives every day. From the ER to the OR, they don't play. They the heartbeat of the healthcare scene. Always there, keeping patients clean. From newborns to the elderly, they care for all. Even when the workload feels like a brick wall. Nurses in the house, making rounds. Stethoscope in hand, they hold it down. They're the heroes and scrubs, no doubt saving lives. That's what they're about. From administering meds to comforting fears, they're the ones wiping away all the tears. They'll advocate for you, be your voice in the crowd. In a chaotic world, they're the calm, never loud. Working long shifts, barely taking breaks. Their dedication and passion never fakes. Through the highs and lows, they persevere. Their compassion shines bright, crystal clear. Nurses in the house, making rounds. Stethoscope in hand, they hold it down. They're the heroes and scrubs, no doubt saving lives. That's what they're out there. Respect to the nurses, holding it down. In a world where chaos often abounds, they're the backbone of healthcare, can't you see? Without them, where would we be? Nurses in the house, making rounds. Stethoscope in hand, they hold it down. They're the heroes and scrubs, no doubt saving lives. That's what they're about. So next time you see a nurse, give them props. for all they do, non-stop. They're the unsung heroes of our time. In the rhythm of life, they're the perfect rhyme.